Good evening or afternoon, everybody. My name is Joseph Brewer, and today I'll be giving you a video presentation on Chapter 4 of B.F. Skinner's About Behaviorism. Alright, so B.F. Skinner is regarded as the father of operant conditioning. In the previous chapter, he speaks about operant conditioning and proceeds to open this chapter with its definition. So, operant conditioning is the act of someone behaving in a particular manner to which is then reinforced, making that behavior likely to occur again. So in other words, behavior is controlled by consequences. So there's two important concepts of operant conditioning and behavior. One is positive and negative reinforcement. With positive reinforcement, a preferred stimulus is added in order to increase a behavior. And with negative reinforcement, an aversive stimulus is removed in order to increase a behavior. In Skinner's eyes, this process supplements natural selection, which means Skinner believes that operant conditioning is the product of natural selection. So most of us think of something as reinforcing if it looks, sounds, feels, or tastes good. But in the eyes of Skinner and the point of view of the evolutionary theory, human susceptibility to reinforcement is due to its survival value and not associated feelings that one has. They believe that behavior occurs because appropriate mechanisms have been selected throughout the course of evolution. Skinner believes that feelings are merely collateral products of the conditions responsible for behavior. Skinner does not see feelings as the main source of what is and is not reinforcing. In his eyes, they're just byproducts of what we've already been predisposed to through evolution. It's safe to assume that we all use the terms wants, needs, desires, and wishes on a regular basis. To us, these various things we may want, need, desire, or wish for could be considered motivators or items and or persons that would be positively reinforcing if given to us. In Skinner's eyes, an event is not reinforcing because it reduces a need. He sees it as the condition felt through our survival value. In other words, the effects of operant reinforcement are represented as inner states or possessions that we all have. When we reinforce a person, we are said to give him or her a motive or incentive, but we infer the move or the incentive from the behavior. We call a person highly motivated or reinforced when all we know is the behavior that the person is producing. Next, Skinner talks about feelings associated with schedules of reinforcement. As we may know, schedules of reinforcement can be fixed interval or fixed ratio and can also be variable interval and variable ratio. According to Skinner, most reinforcement occurs intermittently, and the schedules onto which they're enacted generate a condition which can be described in many terms. So once the ratio of responses toward reinforcement are favorable, the behavior can be attributed to some of these terms he speaks about, which would be like an individual's diligence, ambition, determination, perseverance, excitement, and enthusiasm. This section, along with the section on aversive stimuli and punishment, are concerned with the states of mind, also known as feelings, which may be interpreted as byproducts of contingencies that generate a behavior based on that consequence. Those mental processes are considered important in operant conditioning and in operant behavior. Extremely important. Skinner believes that the mind is not merely a spectator and that it is an essential part of operant behavior. As I spoke about in earlier slides, he believes that all of our reactions, thoughts, and understandings are specifically based on conditions to which they are shaped to us as we grow older. This shaping has happened in the form of positive and negative reinforcement, as well as positive and negative punishment. In this section of Chapter 4, he speaks about the mentalist and behaviorist views of operant behavior. A mentalist would believe that reinforcement is contingent on responses of the mind, meaning that what we are biologically innate or predisposed to reacting and thinking. So for example, language learning. A mentalist would believe that we have an innate predisposition to learn language as humans. But behaviorists, on the other hand, believes that our responses are and body conditions, are under the control of the passive responding of environmental stimuli and reinforcement and punishment as we develop. For example, using language learning again, a behaviorist would think that we learn language because of the reinforcement we get from shaping sounds as a child, which turn into vocal approximations, which then finally turn into words. And however we're being reinforced throughout that is how we're shaping our language learning as we get older. I really appreciate you all watching this video. I hope it made sense. Thank you all so much for watching my summary on Chapter 4 of B.F. Skinner's About Behaviorism. My open-ended question for this video is, do you see yourself more as a behaviorist or a mentalist? And why? So go ahead and post those comments in the forum. I really appreciate you all giving me a few minutes of your time. Have a beautiful day and a great weekend.